What if I told you that a simple 1-cent coin, something you might find rattling at the bottom of your pocket or tucked away in an old jar, could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about the humble yet fascinating 1971 D. Lincoln 1-cent Liberty penny. At first glance, it's just another small piece of copper, but behind its modest appearance lies a story of American history, minting mysteries, and potential hidden value. Stick with me because in this video, we're diving deep, and I mean really deep, into the full history, coin details, minting secrets, collector value, and market worth of the 1971 D penny. Let's find out why this little coin might just be the treasure hiding in plain sight. Section 1: The origins and historical significance. To understand the true value of the 1971 D Lincoln penny, we need to go back to its roots. This coin belongs to the Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the first American coin to feature a real person, and ever since, it has become an icon in American coinage. The 1971 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why it has that small D mint mark just below the date on the obverse, the side with Lincoln's portrait. Over 2.8 billion of these pennies were minted in 1971, which might make it sound common. But here's where things get interesting. Despite its high mintage, certain errors, variations, and pristine conditions make some of these pennies extremely valuable today. Section 2: Composition and physical features. Let's talk about what this coin is made of. The 1971 D penny was struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. It has a diameter of 19 millimeters and a plain edge. That rich copper tone gives it that classic, warm look we all associate with old-school American coins. On the obverse, we see the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a sculptor whose initials can be found just beneath Lincoln's shoulder. The word Liberty sits to the left, while the date 1971 and the D mint mark rest to the right. Above it all, the proud motto "I in God We Trust" stretches across the top. Flip the coin, and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. This iconic design was used from 1959 until 2008, and if you look closely, you might even spot a tiny figure of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a nice little Easter egg for those paying attention. Section 3: How much is it worth? Real market value explained. Alright, let's get to the juicy part. How much is this coin really worth? Well, if you have a circulated 1971 D penny, the kind that's been used in everyday transactions, it's typically worth face value, 1 cent. But hold on, that's just the beginning. The current average market value of a standard 1971 D penny in lightly circulated condition sits around 80 cents to $1. That might not sound like much, but it's nearly 80 times its original face value. And that's not even the exciting part. If your 1971 D penny is in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks nearly flawless, it could be worth $5 to $25, depending on the grade. But coins graded MS-65 or higher, especially those with full red coloring, known as red Lincoln cents, can command even higher prices, sometimes reaching $100 or more. Section 4: Rare errors and variations to watch for. Now here's where things get really exciting. Some 1971 D Lincoln pennies contain minting errors, and these can be worth a small fortune. Look out for the following. If you see doubling in the inscriptions like "I in God We Trust Liberty," or the date 1971, you might have a double die error. These are extremely collectible. A coin that wasn't perfectly aligned during minting and has a portion of the design missing could be worth $50 to $200 or more, depending on how dramatic the error is. These are die breaks between the B and E in Liberty, making it look like it says BIE. This minor error can still raise the coin's value among collectors. If part of the coin's edge appears to be clipped or missing due to a planchet error, you're looking at a rare mint mistake that can fetch decent money. So, before you toss that 1971 D penny aside, check for these valuable anomalies. Section 5: Current market trends and collector demand. As of today, the interest in Lincoln cents is hotter than ever. Collectors around the world are hunting for high-grade, red-toned examples of older pennies like the 1971 D. Thanks to YouTube videos, social media buzz, and a surge in at-home treasure hunting, this coin has gained even more spotlight. Auction sites and coin marketplaces show recent sales of premium grade 1971D pennies hitting $50, $100, or more, especially those with certified grades from NGC or PCGS. Some rare varieties have gone for several $100s. That's a massive return on a 1-cent investment. So if you think you've got one of these in your collection, it's absolutely worth a closer look. Section 6 Tips for collectors and sellers. If you're serious about collecting or selling your 1971D penny, here are a few quick tips. 1. Do not clean the coin. Cleaning can actually destroy its value. Leave the patina as is. Point 2. Use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling, die cracks, or other oddities. Point 3. Get it graded. If your coin looks flawless, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Point 4. Store properly. Use coin flips or holders to prevent scratches and corrosion. Point 5. Keep an eye on the market. Prices can rise with time, so be patient and watch auction trends. Section 7 Final thoughts and surprising facts. To wrap it up, the 1971D Lincoln penny might not look like a jackpot at first glance, but beneath its copper surface lies a rich history and real potential for value. Whether you're a collector, a history lover, or someone who just found this coin in their change, remember this: every coin has a story. Some of those stories are worth a lot more than you'd expect. So next time you're rummaging through an old piggy bank or going through your coin jar, keep an eye out for the 1971D Lincoln cent. You just might be holding a piece of history and maybe even a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive and learned something new today, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin videos, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a 1971D penny. Do you think yours could be worth more than just a cent? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coin hunting! Today, we explore hidden treasures right in your pocket change. If you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell because today's episode is going to blow your mind out. We're diving deep into a fascinating coin that millions of people overlook every single day. I'm talking about the 1974 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny from the United States. Yes, that little copper coin might be sitting in your coin jar, your wallet, or even under your car seat. But did you know it could be worth way more than just 1 cent? Today we're uncovering the history, the hidden secrets, the collector demand, and the shocking value of the 1974 Lincoln penny. And yes, in some cases, this coin has been valued at up to 80 cents or more. That's nearly 80 times its face value. So sit tight because we're about to take a fascinating journey into American coinage history, and who knows? You might be holding a valuable penny right now without even realizing it. Chapter 1. The story behind the 1974 Lincoln penny. Let's take it back to the early 1970s. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation since 1909, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. By 1974, the Lincoln penny had become a cornerstone of U.S. coinage, widely used and instantly recognizable. But what makes 1974 stand out? A few things, actually. This was a time when the United States Mint was dealing with the rising cost of copper. The price of raw copper was increasing rapidly, and making coins entirely out of copper was becoming less and less affordable for the government. As a result, the U.S. Mint began to experiment with alternative materials. In fact, 1974 is famous in the coin collecting world for one of the biggest experiments in modern coinage history. You see, although most 1974 pennies were struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like previous years, a few were struck using aluminum. These rare 1974 aluminum pennies were never officially released into circulation, but a handful escaped. We'll talk more about those in a moment. But even the regular copper 1974 pennies have become sought after by collectors for a number of reasons, including their historical significance, the variety of mint marks, and potential minting errors. Chapter 2. Types of 1974 Lincoln pennies. There are three main types of 1974 Lincoln cents. 1. 1974 no mint mark struck at the Philadelphia Mint. 2. 1974 D struck at the Denver Mint. 3. 1974 S struck at the San Francisco Mint. Each of these coins is slightly different in rarity and collector value. While millions were produced, certain conditions and varieties can make a single coin stand out and become highly valuable. Chapter 3. How to identify a valuable 1974 penny. So, what should you be looking for? First off, check the condition of your coin. Coins in mint state MS condition, that means no wear, full detail, and sharp luster, are always worth more. If your 1974 penny looks nearly brand new, it might just be a treasure. You should also look closely at the lettering like "I in God We Trust" or "Liberty." If you notice a doubling effect, especially on the date or letters, you might have a double die coin worth far more than face value. If the image of Lincoln is not centered or the coin is irregularly shaped, this is a mint error that can significantly raise the coin's value. These happen when the die used to strike the coin is damaged. These imperfections can create raised lines or blobs on the coin that collectors find highly desirable. Chapter 4. How much is a 1974 penny really worth? Now here's the big question: how much can you actually get for one of these coins? A circulated 1974 penny in average condition is still technically worth just 1 cent in everyday transactions, but collectors will often pay 3 cents to 10 cents for them in bulk, especially if the coins are clean and readable. But it gets better. If your 1974 penny is in uncirculated condition, it can fetch 25 cents to 75 cents depending on the mint mark. And if it has no signs of wear and a beautiful red copper luster, some have sold for as much as $1 or more in online auctions and coin shows. The current market average is around $0.807 for high-quality examples with strong detail, attractive color, and eye appeal. And if you're one of the few lucky people who somehow has a 1974 aluminum penny, stop everything. Those coins are so rare they've been valued in the tens of thousands of dollars, and some are even held in museums. One was nearly sold for over $250,000 before the government intervened, claiming it was never meant to be released. Chapter 5. Market demand and why collectors love 1974 pennies. So why is there still such strong demand for a coin that was minted in the millions? Simple. Collectors are always on the hunt for minting errors, high-grade examples, full red uncirculated versions, and of course, any connection to the 1974 aluminum experimental series coin. Collectors know that even among common dates, there are always rare gems. Combine that with the nostalgia of 1970s U.S. history, and the 1974 penny has become a favorite for both beginner and advanced collectors. Chapter 6. Where to sell or buy a 1974 penny. Thinking of selling your coin? Here are the best places to do it. eBay, one of the largest marketplaces for rare coins. You can see what other 1974 pennies are selling for. Etsy, believe it or not, some collectors buy from here. Coin shows and local coin dealers, great for getting quick cash offers. Online grading services like PCGS or NGC. If your coin is in mint condition, getting it professionally graded can multiply its value. Chapter 7. Don't ignore your pennies. The moral of the story: never overlook a penny, especially not a 1974 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny. Whether it's hiding in a drawer, a piggy bank, or in your change from the grocery store, that little copper coin could be worth more than you think. And let's face it, there's something incredibly satisfying about turning 1 cent into almost $1, or possibly hundreds if you hit the jackpot with a rare error or aluminum strike. So take a closer look at your coins, grab a magnifying glass, and start treasure hunting today. You never know what you'll find. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, comment below with what coins you found, and share this video with your friends and family. Let's spread the word that even the smallest coins can carry big stories and even bigger value. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, where we uncover more secrets from the world of coins and currency. Until then, keep collecting and keep exploring. Have you ever held a simple penny and thought, what if this little coin is worth more than I ever imagined? What if a coin sitting in your drawer, dropped in your car cup holder, or forgotten in your change jar could be worth not 1 cent, not 10 cents, but nearly $1 or even much more? Well, today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and fascinating coins in American history, the 1983 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty penny. That's right, the humble 1983 penny. This small copper-colored coin might just be hiding a small fortune. So make sure you watch till the end, because you won't believe the prices collectors are paying today. The 1983 Lincoln cent might seem ordinary at first glance, but there's far more to this coin than meets the eye. Behind its simple appearance lies a story of historical transition, economic change, rare minting errors, and valuable secrets that have coin collectors and treasure hunters everywhere searching their pocket change. Let's rewind a little and go back in time to 1983. Ronald Reagan was president, the economy was recovering, Michael Jackson's Billie Jean ruled the radio, and the U.S. Mint was busy striking billions of pennies. But something was different this year. You see, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a critical decision to change the composition of the penny. Up until then, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to rising copper prices, making a penny cost more than 1 cent. That was bad for business. So in 1982, the Mint switched the composition to a cheaper alternative, 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper coating. But here's the twist. 1982 was a transition year, meaning both copper and zinc pennies were produced that year. However, by 1983, the Mint officially stopped making copper cents, or so they thought, because here's where things get really exciting. In recent years, coin collectors discovered that some 1983 pennies, just a handful, were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from the previous year. That means some 1983 pennies are not just rare, they're ultra-rare copper treasures, and they can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. That's right. A verified 1983 copper penny once sold at auction for over $15,000. Just imagine, a single penny worth more than your monthly paycheck. But wait, we're just getting started. Let's talk about the design of the 1983 Lincoln penny. On the obverse side, that's the front, you'll find the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, can sometimes be seen at the bottom. The word Liberty appears boldly on the left, the year 1983 to the right, and the famous motto "I in God We Trust" arches across the top. Flip the coin over, and on the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, centered with majestic symmetry. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, features tiny but amazing details, including a miniature Lincoln seated inside the memorial if you look closely. The reverse also includes the words United States of America, the denomination 1 cent, and the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. But not all 1983 pennies are created equal. Aside from the rare copper strikes, some 1983 pennies feature famous mint errors, such as double die reverse DDR or off-center strikes. One known 1983 DDR variety shows noticeable doubling in the lettering of 1 cent and E pluribus unum. These error coins are extremely sought after and can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on their condition. Here's what to check. Use a digital scale. If your 1983 penny weighs 3.11 grams, it's likely made of copper. That's the jackpot. Regular zinc pennies weigh only about 2.5 grams. Look closely with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Doubling in the letters or numbers may indicate a double die error. Check for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks. These minting anomalies increase value. So now you're probably asking, what's the value of a typical 1983 Lincoln penny today? Well, if you have a circulated 1983 penny, it's usually worth its face value 1 cent. But even an average condition example may sell for up to 5 cents to 10 cents to collectors who want it for their sets. However, if your 1983 penny is in mint condition, also known as MS Mint State 65 or higher, it can be worth 50 cents to over $1, and some have sold for up to $5 to $10. According to recent coin market data, the average market value of a well-preserved 1983 penny is currently around $0.805. Yes, 80 times its face value. That's not just pocket change anymore, that's investment-grade value. And if you're lucky enough to find a 1983 copper planchet era penny, you could be holding a small fortune. As mentioned before, these rare examples have fetched $10,000 to $18,000 at major auctions like Heritage and Stack's Bowers. So what should you do if you think you've found a valuable 1983 penny? Step 1. Weigh the coin. Copper is heavier. Look for 3.11 grams. Step 2. Examine it for errors, doubling, off-centering, or strange shapes. Step 3. Protect it. Place it in a coin flip or plastic sleeve. Step 4. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. The 1983 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty penny is more than just money, it's a time capsule, a piece of American history, and for some, a ticket to unexpected wealth. So check your jars, your drawers, your change from the store, because that unassuming little penny just might be worth a whole lot more. And remember, one penny could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and hidden treasures, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next coin that could make you rich. Drop a comment below if you have a 1983 penny or any other rare coins you'd like us to cover. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting. Coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where we uncover hidden gems in your pocket change. If you're holding on to a 1991 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny, you might want to check it twice, because that tiny copper coin could be worth more than you think. In today's video, we're diving deep into the history, errors, and current market value of the 1991 Lincoln cent. You might just be sitting on a miniature fortune. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. Chapter number 1: History of the 1991 Lincoln penny. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this iconic coin replaced the Indian head cent and made history by featuring a real person's face for the first time on regular U.S. coinage. Fast forward to 1991. The penny that year was minted during a transitional time in American coinage. By 1991, the U.S. Mint had already switched from a primarily copper composition to a copper-plated zinc core starting in 1982 due to rising metal costs. So, the 1991 Lincoln cents are made of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper, with a total weight of 2.5 grams. Millions of these coins were struck, but not all of them are created equal. Some carry errors, some have near-perfect conditions, and others might just be the rare variety collectors dream of. The obverse still proudly shows Lincoln's bust with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1991 to the right. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, flanked by United States of America and the denomination 1 cent, with the iconic E Pluribus Unum motto above. Chapter number 2: Rarities and Mint. Marks. In 1991, the pennies were minted at two main locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins with no mint mark, and Denver, which used the D Mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 6 billion coins, while the Denver Mint produced over 4.1 billion. Now you might be thinking, how can something made in the billions be worth anything? Well, the answer lies in rarity, condition, and error coins. Let's talk about those. Some 1991 Lincoln cents were struck with amazing precision and have been preserved in pristine condition. These are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and top-quality examples in MS67 or higher can fetch a premium. Then there are the error coins. These are the real jackpot. Examples include off-center strikes, double die, obverse DDO die cracks or cuts, clipped planchets, missing letters, or weak strikes. Collectors go crazy for these minting mistakes. If your 1991 penny has an unusual design flaw or looks off in any way, don't toss it. Get it checked out by an expert or a grading service. Chapter number 3: Market value and price trends. Alright, let's talk money. Most circulated 1991 Lincoln cents without any special errors are still worth 1 cent. However, even in circulated condition, collectors may pay 5 to 10 cents just to fill a spot in their collection. That's not much, but it's more than face value. Now here's where it gets exciting. According to recent market activity, a regular 1991 Lincoln cent in mint state 65 MS65 is worth around 50 cents to $1. An MS67 Plus red coin, certified by PCGS or NGC, can sell for $20 to $50 or more depending on eye appeal and rarity. Error coins have sold for $100, $250, and even over $1,000 at auctions. And right now, the average market value for well-preserved coins or lightly circulated specimens with collector interest is about $0.803, almost 80 times its face value. That's a nice return for something you might find in your pocket, purse, or an old coin jar. Chapter number 4: How to spot a valuable 1991 PNNY. So how do you know if your 1991 penny is special? Here's what to look for. 1. Check the mint mark. Look under the ear. If it has a D, it came from Denver. No mark. It's from Philadelphia. 2. Examine the coin under magnification. Look for doubling, especially in Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, or the date. Also check the reverse lettering. 3. Look for die cracks or cuts. Raised lines or blobs on the coin might signal valuable die breaks. 4. Weigh it. A normal 1991 cent should weigh around 2.5 grams. If it weighs more, it might be struck on a foreign or transitional planchet.